roy dundu pire ah dama ne ana Jambangs Royal Gramo tabaski bii di ñëw man Jambangs Royal Gramo laa si taama ana jeeg ñi ana jege maani ana suma càmmeñ yu baax yi yéen ñi nga xam ne da ngeen am jabar yéen ñi nga xam ne da ngeen a waaj a sëy si yéen ñi nga xamante ne ni pare ngeen tabaski bi mu baax daw leen dem seeti Jambangs Royal Gramo ak Jambangs Royal Gramo ñu ngi leen fa amal li nga xam ne moom mooy jas na li nga xam ne moom mooy WhatsApp ah ana Facebook 20 di daloo ma ne VIP lay wóor man ana borom takkay cuubi takkaa ngi nii dama ne dem leen seeti Jambangs Royal Gramo Jambangs Royal Gramo nag amal leen cuubi façon xeet bu nekka bu leen demee nag ñu jaay leen ko si price bu yomba yóbbul leen ko ba fu ngeen bugga mu àgga ba tey nag kon ko bugga si cuubi yi mun ngaa call ki nga xam ne moom mooy Jambangs Royal Gramo si 78 255 87 78 255 87 mbete nga oo ko si 299 2967 299 2967 mbete ba tey rek mun ngaa email xale bi nga xam ne moo nekk si si gannaaw Jambangs Royal Gramo ba tey it nga email ko si jambangfatou@gmail.com dama ne Jambangs Royal Gramo ngeen ànd see xale bu yaaña bii di Fatou Jambang nekk nag si Jambangs Royal Gramo fas yéene defante yéen yu baax si tabaski bii dama ne man tabaski bii nii Jambangs Royal Gramo laay woon Jambangs Royal Gramo roy dundu roog piir dama ne Jambangs Royal Gramo nag toj na fi
Properties and Investment Limited ye ken also dale lamen karawa 20 by 20 jiobeje kurangabeje nin sunkaro bu nyana la horomo kan iba wafila $200,000 cash ikafumi mfane mortgage ka domoni ninjo katafu kari woro ibo wafila $250,000 Kairosu Properties and Investment Limited ibal contender sunkaro Kairosu Properties link us and we make you a home builder.
The name of this project is GPU as a trade union and an advocate for members, media, and democracy. What this name is telling you that the objective of this project is to strengthen the GPU as a trade union, where to play its role in the democracy process of the Gambia. So one of the key things the project will be looking at is the welfare of our members when it comes to issues of salary negotiation, collective bargaining. We will also be looking at issues of sexual harassment in the newsrooms, issues of discrimination, and then equal pay for both male and female journalists. And also, we will also be looking at our affiliates. How do we strengthen them to play a better role in union matters? And also, another component of this project is that we will also be working on the democratization process of the Gambia. We will be looking at issues of freedom of information, freedom of expression, and good governance. So it's a very big project, but I won't go into the details of the project. The SECO will do that. But for now, I just want to quickly introduce members of the high table. On my immediate right, I have Ben Bahabakol. He's the project coordinator from GIM. And then we have the Honorable Minister. Well, thank you for coming, sir. Even though we gave you the invitation at a very short notice. We have Honorable Minister Silda. And then we have the President of the Gambia Press Union, Sharif Bojan Jr., and Secretary General of GPU, Sekou Jami. And thank you all for coming. To go quickly, because we are 1 hour behind time, I will call on Sherry to Sherry.
Thank you very much, Hadija. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this event. On behalf of the Gambia Press Union, I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for your interest in showing up this morning. I think it shows the house is full. It shows the importance and the significance of this project, and also our quest to move the union forward and to move the profession that we all love and we all cherish so much. I think as part of the program, Sekou, the Secretary General, will go into details of what this project is. I want to stress that as individual journalists and as a fraternity, we all have a lot in common. We have a lot of passion. We have a lot of interest in professionalizing our profession. Key among them is our welfare as journalists, our individual media houses, and our day-to-day activities. From day one, since the time of Demba Jao and even before that, welfare of journalists has always been an issue, has always been an interest for every single journalist, whether you work for a radio, television, newspaper, online, whatever, wherever. Oftentimes, our members, you the individual journalists, work round the clock. And oftentimes, you complain to the union that you struggle to take money home, your work conditions, your welfare generally. So I think I will emphasize the issue of welfare as part of this project. As part of this project, we will be looking collectively, all of us together, at our welfare as journalists, the contracts we have, the conditions of services, our delivery, our deliverables, our needs, and what we all take home. So a lot of excitement is around this project, not just the amount of money Sekou will deal with, and not just the amount of money involved, but where it is going, where it is supposed to go, and where it will go. And my hope is that by the end of this contract, this project, we can all raise our hands and say our conditions of service and our general welfare have improved, and we can start loving the profession more, and we can all start loving what we do more. And if that happens, or when that happens, of course, our delivery to the consumers, to the news consumers, will also improve. So this is not just the GPU or members. This is part of the country as a whole. Because if your services are positive, if your services, your welfare is strengthened, of course it will impact on your work. And this is positive for what you do, and it's positive for the consumers. So I want to take this opportunity to thank our partners, James, and our also special thanks to the Secretariat, the GPU Secretariat. I'm sitting here today. I take the credit. When these things happen, people congratulate me, but no. It is the men and women at the GPU Secretariat who work round the clock. Sekou Jammeh, the Secretary General, I'm sorry for stealing all your credit every time. Hadija Jawara, Jebel is here, and Lamin Jahate, and then a lot of other people who all work at the Secretariat. They put so much time and energy and everything into this, day and night. They are the ones who are there, projects after projects, writing back and forth. They don't relent. And we are all here today to celebrate this amazing project, to celebrate what this project is going to do, to professionalize our profession, thanks to them. So I would like to call all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to give a round of applause to this brilliant team. And on that note, I want to thank the government through the minister for their commitment, for their passion, and for their interest in the GPU. Oftentimes we don't see eye to eye, and we are not regretful about that. We are not going to see eye to eye because of our role naturally by default as news givers who go out there to get news, to investigate, to dig into affairs, and of course their role as people's servants, but also a group of people, a government, like everywhere else in the world, with the habit of hiding things, especially things that are not favorable to them. So because of that, we won't see eye to eye, but what we can do is we can work on things that matter to both parties. And this is happening in the Gambia. And I think this is worth commendable. So, Mr. Minister, thank you for that commitment. So, on behalf of the Gambia Press Union, once again, I would like to take this opportunity to express our excitement and our hope for this project, hoping and believing that at the end of it, when the project doors close, everybody go home, we will look back and say, thank God for this project. Thank you very much.
Was education in journalism, we got it through the Games project. Even when I entered the media, we had Games there. So those were the days. We have a lot of donors. I think we have a few exceptions like UNESCO who wants to associate with GPU. So those at that difficult moment, Games stepped in and they were trying to support the GPU. Because of them, we have the first school of journalism in the Gambia. And since then, they have been supporting us, and they are the key partners in this project here when we are talking about strengthening the GPU at this point in time. They also step in to help us. We partner with them to develop this project, and through their support, CISO agreed to form this project. So where is the project coordinator? I will allow him to issue a statement on behalf of Games. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you very much, Aditya. Honorable Minister of Information, the audience today, and dear GPU, friends of GPU, no matter what country you come from, and no matter where you live, and no matter your profession, we share the same world. Unfortunately, this earth is in a very bad shape. We have a financial crisis, we have a social crisis, and we have a most urgent climate crisis that has the potential to worsen both of the other crises. We can simply not continue with the present growth rates globally, at least not if we keep doing what we have been doing all the time. We are simply using the resources of the world too fast. The wealth of the world is not distributed equally. And for the climate crisis, I think it's evident even here in the Gambia that the climate crisis and the climate changes are taking place. And globally, the average temperature is still rising, causing unstable weather conditions, extreme storms, drought, and flooding. Fortunately, the leaders of the world, united in United Nations, has drawn up a unique plan to save the world and have agreed on 17 Sustainable Development Goals, the so-called 17 SDGs. If we follow this plan and pursue the goals, we have a chance to create more stable economies, a more equal distribution of wealth, and sustainable living. One of the 17 SDGs is the number 16 that tells us to promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels as part of the solution to the world's problems. That is why I am so extremely proud to be here today on behalf of Games as part of this project, GPU as trade union and advocate for members, media, and society, because this project is spot on the SDG number 16. The objective is to capacity build and secure the welfare of your journalists, who are a very important part of the democratic process. They must enjoy the freedom of expression and access to information in order to hold the government at all time accountable for its actions. But the journalists, they must also have the capacity to exercise their rights and be safe and sound while they are doing so. This calls for building up the profession to become an even more professional profession, or for these journalists to be even more professionals than today, benefiting from, for instance, collective bargaining and contracts and fair working conditions. The project will also focus on equality in the media and the women's right to work on equal terms with their male colleagues. But even more, the project will not only focus on the members of GPU, it also comprises the affiliates of GPU, because we believe that in order to make GPU a strong and accountable organization, the affiliates must be strong and accountable. Thus, we will do a great effort to also capacity build the affiliates within this project. Finally, the society itself will benefit from the project, as GPU will be able to play an even more active and professional role in rebuilding and developing the Gambia. This project will sustain the Gambia's democracy and the country's truth, reconciliation and reparation process. So I think that this project is really important. It has been drawn up by the GPU, as Hadija said, and the Danish NGO that I represent, GAMES, Gambia Media Support. And I think it's very important also to mention that it is supported by, funded by CISO, which is a civil society and development organization. It's in Denmark. It is an independent organization that comprises some 280 small and medium-sized Danish civil society organizations. And that organization is, at the end of the day, financed by the Danish government, the foreign ministerium. CISU has supported this project with nearly 3 million Danish kroners, of which most of that amount actually will be spent here in the Gambia. And I'm happy that this project will last 30 months. Sometimes you would say, whoa, that's a long time. But Games and partners have learned from previous projects that we had done that genuine capacity building presupposes stability, resources, and structures in place, and it does take time. When this project is over, you will see that GPU has become one of the most professional unions and a very capable institution with strong affiliates. Strong affiliates and union that will be able to contribute even more in developing the Gambia and the democracy of this wonderful country. I wish not only GPU and the members of GPU, the affiliates of GPU and the Gambian civil society the best of luck with this project.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for taking a lot of your time. Just yesterday we were in your office and then we took all of your time there, and today too, here we are. And well, I think it was worse with Uncle Demba when he was there. But then this project is so good, so dear to GPU in many ways. Because as far as my records are concerned, it is the biggest project in the history of the GPU. Until this project, I think the UNDEF was the biggest project. Am I right? So, and UNDEF is about to phase out later this year. So this project is actually the biggest that we have. And not just about the size of the project in terms of the money, but it's about the purpose for which this project is set out to do. And then in terms of the duration, it's about 2 years, 6 months, or 2.5 years. Those of you who care about arithmetics, you can round it up to 3 years, but it should be essentially about 2 years, 6 months. So the amount involved is about 19.5 million Gambian dollars. In Danish kroner, he mentioned it. But in Gambian dollars, that's going to be the one that we're going to use. It's about 19.5 million Gambian dollars. So the donor he mentioned is CISU, that's the Civil Society Fund in Denmark. The GPU has had a very long-standing relationship with our partners in Denmark, Games. We do partner with Games to apply for CISU funds, to apply for Danida funds. And then this is a partnership that dates back 2005. I think I was going to school at the time, but Uncle Dembaja was here, at the time at the GPU. And our relationship keeps growing from strength to strength ever since. And now I don't know whether we are at the peak of it, or maybe there are some steps still to climb. But thank you so much, Per. So Games is our partner. The GPU will be the implementing partner locally, and then Games, that is the Gambia Media Support, will be our partner. So this project is about bread and butter issues for journalists and media practitioners. I mean, it was a campaign promise by this current executive. And that campaign promise was informed by very strong expression of the needs or the felt needs of the GPU members. A lot of the GPU members in the build-up to the last Congress that we had last year were quite not satisfied with the GPU because they felt that the GPU is overly concentrating on abstract issues, on legal and policy reforms, and not on things that matter to them. And what are those things that matter to them? These are employment contracts. These are the monies that they take home for their service. So they want the GPU to focus on that. And that's why when this executive came into office, they, instructed us to work towards being responsive to the felt needs of the GPU members. But beyond that, it's also about safety of journalists. When I was in the minister's office yesterday, I told him, well, it's about safety issue. And he was like, but why do you need safety issue for journalists? There is no safety concern for journalists. But we do know that there are lots of safety issues for journalists. I mean, this government, new one, came on a promise to, to protect journalists. I mean, to never again should we see issues of attacks on journalists more especially. But we do know that from 2017 to 2019 or 18, there were about a dozen of physical attacks on journalists. And some journalists sustained injuries, and also some lost their gadgets. And this situation may not, I think the risk level will go higher and higher, particularly as we move closer to political contestations. I mean, because with tensions in politics, usually the risk level of journalists. So we will do a lot of advocacy around safety of journalists in the Gambia. Equality of sex and gender in the media, that's also an issue. And it's also about strengthening professional media organizations and repositioning the GPU. I say from being a resistance movement to a proactive trade union, because everyone remembers the GPU to be that troublesome organization that was here since Jammeh's days, attacking Jammeh and Jammeh attacking GPU, and GPU being resilient, not relenting, And now that we have a government that is at least willing to dialogue, that is at least, listening to the GPU and many other people, then we have to reposition ourselves and change the way we deal with government, change the way we deal with civil society, and change the way we deal with even international partners. So, I talked about this. So, what is it that we are going to do for the GPU? So we are going to build the capacity and competences of the staff that work at the GPU. Matter of fact, we advertise that we need 2 more staff. And anybody who is interested, please apply. This is so important. We need 2 more program officers because we are quite stretched at the office. This is one of the projects that we are implementing, but we are also implementing a number of projects, really. So we need 2 more staff. But these staff that we have, we are going to build their capacity so that the GPU will be an effective policy-driven organization. Those that are in communication, we are going to build their staff on how to communicate better. Those that are doing advocacy, we are going to build their capacity on how to, improve GPU's advocacy. And those that are into fundraising, we are going to build their capacity on how to raise more funds for the GPU to be able to implement its programs. And then the executive committee is there, so we are going to also build the skills and competencies of the executive committee to be able to exercise especially their oversight functions. As you are aware, we have at least 3 committees at the level of the executive committee. One is gender and welfare, another is ethics, and another is programs committee. So these 3 committees are so crucial to the effectiveness of the GPU that we need to put in place policies for them. We need to build their capacity so that they will be able to support the GPU's work. So we are going to also improve the financial and administrative routines, through policies. The GPU has to set an example, not just in the media, but also in the Gambia, as the umbrella organization for journalists. We have to be professional in what we do. In terms of how we move around our funds, we have to be professional in the way we do it. So we are going to put in place an anti-corruption policy at the GPU. We are going to put in place procurement policies at the GPU. We are going to put in place operational manuals at the GPU. We are going to put in place meeting structures at the GPU. So these are so essential for the effective running of the GPU, really. And then also we're going to improve service delivery. I talked about how we're going to build the capacity of the staff to be able to deliver service. When you are a journalist, you come to the GPU, perhaps you have an allegation that says that your employer abuses you sexually. You come to GPU, you want the GPU to hear your case. We can only sit around a table and listen to you. We cannot even provide you with a form with which you're going to fill. So there is no, when it comes to welfare issues, there is no collective bargaining issues in the Gambia. So these are things that we are going to do to be able to improve our service delivery. And then the GPU is also going to have a very robust communication strategy, a very robust advocacy strategy, and a very robust fundraising strategy. And these are not going to be documents that will be lying there to gather dust. These are documents that we are going to inject life into them, because we will have the staff that will have the skills and the competencies to be able to, use them to guide them in their work. So on welfare issues, what's the issue? We said most media houses don't even have employment letters. They don't. A lot of the journalists that are working in the country don't have employment letters and employment contracts. And this is really sad. We're not going to force any media house to give you, but we're going to see how best we will exercise some engagements and some persuasive influence to make sure that you do these things for your staff. Because it's not just a matter for the staff to have this. The law also says that you provide it for your staff. So these are things that we're going to address. And then the income levels of journalists, we know, is very low in majority of the media houses that we have in the country. Of course, with the change of government, there is some level of competition and investment. And this is really good because, now you see reporters earning up to $10,000. Before 2006-17, I can count the number of editors in the Gambia that were earning up to $10,000. And now that's a salary for the reporters in some media houses. But in majority of the media houses, some are still going home with as low as $1,000 every month. Some are going home with as low as actually $0 at the end of every month. So that's the situation in some newsrooms that this project has also come to address, the low wages. I could remember in 2011-12, the GPU came up with a standard tariff for freelancers, and this was really good for journalists, And we're going to do this through the use of collective bargaining. So a lot of journalists also don't have any salary negotiation skills. So we're going to give them the skills to do that. A lot of them don't have. A lot of them also don't have social security benefits, and they should really have this. So we are going to unionize the media industry. We are going to strive to make sure that every media practitioner in the Gambia is a bona fide and active member of the GPU. And then we are going to provide standard contracts that media houses can just take and customize for their use in their newsrooms. And then we are going to also engage the media houses so that they themselves improve their managerial skills in their newsrooms. So on safety issues, I talked about all these things. So what we are going to do is that we are going to provide safety training online and offline. We are going to introduce safety manuals for every journalist to have. We are going to have press cards and safety jackets. We are going to have dialogue with police and politicians, regular ones, so that we commit them to protect journalists. We are going to, support media organizations to put in place safety measures and mechanisms. On equality, it's the same. Lower payment, women, in some instances, right? We receive this. Job insecurity for them. These are all the things that women face in the newsroom. Lower prospect of promotion in the newsroom. These are issues that women face, and they are therefore underrepresented. Like when Garimata says, I always say, the higher you go, the fewer women you find. When you look at the lower ranks of the in the media, you find a lot of women as reporters. But the higher you go, the fewer women you find up there. And then we are going to empower the Women Journalists Association to be able to take the lead in this. On affiliates, this is quite problematic because right now we have a number of affiliates, and all of them take it for granted that they are affiliates of the GPU, when necessarily they are not. But this is so important that we bring them and talk to them and support them so that they will have all the capacity that the GPU have. We will transfer skills to them so that they will be able to fundraise for themselves, advocate for themselves, So I think that is the end of it. GPU also is the secretariat of the Media Sector Reforms Framework. As you are aware, sometime in 2017, the GPU and the Ministry of Information came together, a collaborative effort. We developed and launched a strategic framework for the Gambian media sector reforms. And so that framework is there, and the implementation of it is being coordinated by the GPU, of course, co-chaired by GPU and the ministry. So as a secretariat for that, it's very important that we also put in place, measures that will make sure that the media sector reforms in the country is coordinated and we have a very coherent approach to these issues. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for listening and for coming to witness this lunch.
The president of the GPU, the Secretary General, and the support staff at the Secretariat, our good friend from James in Netherlands, our doyen in the industry, Mr. Demba Ali Jao, representative from UNESCO, the good partners of the media in the Gambia, of course, our very good friends from Article 19, colleagues in the media. Thank you so much for inviting me to this very important meeting to launch this project, which we all know, of course, will go a long way in supporting the laudable initiatives that the Gambia Press Union has just started to ensure that not only to professionalize the profession, but also to support the men and women that are in the profession. Yes, this is a growing profession, but we have to also realize that not all the people that are in the profession are also journalists. We have media workers in the community radios, and I'm happy that everybody is going to be catered for by this project. I am very happy to be here with you today, and I have to say that the government of the Gambia is with you. We are extremely happy that the Gambia Press Union is now rebranding itself from that position of being, a fighting union to a very proactive union that works for the members, but also for the professionalization of the profession. We are happy also that a lot of other issues are put into consideration, especially the gender equation of the profession and the industry, and also the issues related to working conditions of the media workers in the country. We are extremely concerned as a government that those that leave their homes every day to their offices, not only as permanent employees, but also as freelancers and contributors, sometimes go home without getting what they have worked for. Or even what they've worked for, it is not enough to reimburse the fares and the transport that they spend money on. This is something that sometimes promotes all the ills that we don't yearn for in the profession. Yes, we know that the Gambian media organizations and media houses have gone through so many, problems. They are just recovering, just like all the others in the country. But at some point, we also need to set some standards so that the men and women that inform the people of this country can also benefit from the fruit of their labor. And as a government, we want to continue to work with you, because at the end of the day, democracy will not be strengthened when the people are not well informed. And the people can only be well informed when the journalists are motivated. So this is a very important project. We want to support you, and we will continue to work with you. We have started a lot of things, as alluded to by the Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union. We have a working committee on a number of reforms that we are working on. Some of them are extremely very slow, but that's, of course, the issues related to governance. I mean, government in itself is something else, because you have to work with so many other departments and agencies that sometimes may not understand the relevance of things that you want to do. So you do a lot of background, negotiations, convincing, and so many things. But that commitment is there. And I'm happy to also say that since 2017, the government of the Gambia has not prosecuted any journalists, has not harassed or gagged any journalists. And we want to continue with that trend, because at the end of the day, democracy is a hugely contested territory, but we all need to ensure that we respect each other's opinion on issues, even if it means that we sit on the table and quarrel, but issues are clarified to the people. I also sympathize with those journalists who have been attacked, although not by the government, but sometimes people, acting on behalf of political organizations or individuals that take the law into their own hands. And we hope that this project will also address those kind of issues where communities and organizations and the population in general are sensitized about the work of journalists, and also the importance of giving the opportunity for the media to tell the story of the people. In some cases, these attacks may not be orchestrated, may not be deliberate, but they are done out of frustration by people who are angry, and they vent their anger on the wrong people. So it is important that that is also considered. The government will stand with you when journalists are attacked, of course, and the matter is reported. I mean, the necessary steps will be taken to ensure that the police investigate the matter, and then where necessary, appropriate action is taken. We are definitely happy with the progress that we are doing with you, the Gambia Press Union, and I want to assure the membership of the union and those that are not even members of the union, but they are practicing journalists or they are media workers, that a lot of work is happening behind the scenes. We are working with Article 19 in particular on a whole lot of reform processes, which the Gambia Press Union is taking the lead. We are also talking with, working with some drafters, to look at the issues related to media safety and media laws. And we hope that, very soon some of this progress, some of these issues, will kick off, especially in terms of, legislating at the level of the National Assembly. We cannot do anything less, because this is what the Gambian people fought for 22 years. And then when the opportunity came on the 1st of December 2016, everybody realized that it is important that we uphold these important cardinal principles that we support the media to take the lead in informing the people. And that cannot be done in an environment where there is suspicion, in an environment where people are uncomfortable to speak their mind, in an environment where people are afraid, but also in an environment where people are not motivated. And this is a very good project, and we will continue to work with the GPU. We will continue to support you at even bilateral level. I mean, in instances where you need the support of the government, to, endorse some of these things, we will continue to be there for you. We know that your partners' games, have been extremely very supportive during the difficult days. And this is important that now we are taking a radical shift from how we used to work. I think a lot of capacity building initiatives have been taking place in this country. And we are happy to say that now in the Gambia, we have, in terms of capacity, when you compare our journalists now to many of the countries in the region, we can safely say that the ratio of trained journalists, not only those that went to university, but those that have the opportunity to be trained beyond the 6 months, we are higher compared to many other countries. I think now even the media houses themselves have seen that this is not a profession just for pleasure or journalists. People come, they use it as an opportunity to spring to other professions. This could not have been done without the support from James and other partners that Gambia Press Union have been working with. So we will continue to also strengthen these games by ensuring that we do our part, putting in place the necessary legislative frameworks that will help you work in a conducive environment. On behalf of the government of the Gambia, I take this opportunity not only to thank you, but also to recognize this strong partnership that characterize our relationship, the Ministry of Information and the Gambia Press Union, and also the media practitioners in general. So I don't want to take much of your time. I only want to say that we are happy and proud of you for your resilience and also the foresight that you have shown in not only professionalizing the media, but also taking the radical shift to look into the future. The future is where you are moving towards. So thank you so much, all of you, and I'm happy to be with you here. So on my own behalf, I take this as it is a singular honor to officially launch this project, and I wish you all the best of luck, and I hope and pray that more of this will come. And next time, we wish and hope and pray that the Ministry of Information will also be considered. At least we can get 10%. It's important. We have a project coordination unit there, and we work with you. So maybe 5 or 10% of your funds, to to help us, do our job well with you. That may not also be out of order. But on a more serious note, thank you so much. We will do anything within our power to support you, to be with you, and to work with you, to crawl with you, to fall and then stand up again. At the end of the day, it is important that the people get informed. And whatever it takes from our end to support you achieve that important objective, we will definitely do that. So thank you so much.
Carousel Properties and Investment Limited, ye can also dale lamen karawan 20 by 20. Jiobeje, kurangabeje. Ninsun karobu nyana la horomo kang, iba wafila $200,000 cash. Ikafumi mfane mortgage ka domon ninjo katafu kariworo, ibo wafila $250,000. Carousel Properties and Investment Limited, ibal contanda sun karol. Carousel Properties, link us and we make you a home builder.
roy dundu roog piir ah dama ne ana Jambangs Royal Gramo tabaski bii di ñëw man Jambangs Royal Gramo laa si taama ana jeeg ñi ana jege maani ana suma càmmeñ yu baax yi yéen ñi nga xam ne da ngeen am jabar yéen ñi nga xam ne da ngeen a waaj a sëy si yéen ñi nga xamante ne ni pare ngeen tabaski bi mu baax daw leen dem seeti Jambangs Royal Gramo ak Jambangs Royal Gramo ñu ngi leen fa amal li nga xam ne moom mooy jas na li nga xam ne moom mooy WhatsApp ana Facebook 20 di daloo ma ne VIP lay wóor man ana borom takay cuubi takkaa ngi nii dama ne dem leen seeti Jambangs Royal Gramo Jambangs Royal Gramo nag amal leen cuubi façon xeet bu nekka bu leen demee nag ñu jaay leen ko si price bu yomba yóbbul leen ko ba fu ngeen bugga mu àgga ba tey nag kon ko bugga si cuubi yi mun ngaa call ki nga xam ne moom mooy Jambangs Royal Gramo si 78 255 87 78 255 87 mbete nga oo ko si 299 2967 299 2967 mbete ba tey rek mun ngaa email xale bi nga xam ne moo nekk si gannaaw Jambangs Royal Gramo ba tey it nga email ko si jambangfatou@gmail.com dama ne Jambangs Royal Gramo ngeen ànd see xale bu yaaña bii di Fatou Jambang nekk nag si Jambangs Royal Gramo fas yéene defante ak yéen yu baax si tabaski bii dama ne man tabaski bii nii Jambangs Royal Gramo laay woon Jambangs Royal Gramo roy dundu roog piir dama ne Jambangs Royal Gramo nag toj na fi.
Yeah, it's your boy One Pack, you get me? Seen xol xalaat yu bon nañ ko sànni fële si mbalit gi nele xale ndaw yi toog di ko foye fële door leen di seetaan Gambia Talent Promotion, you get me? They promoted only Gambians and this is our own thing, Gambia, you get me? Suma fancy soo leen ma bëggee gis boy fii rek la boy si hot platform bii la boy, yeah? You get me? This is how we do it. Soo leen bëggee gis lu xew si dëkk bi ak lu warut si dëkk bi TV bii la fii fancy ak and am di jaama yi ak haters welcome to Gambia Talent TV show, you get me? Seen xool xalaat yu bon nañ ko sànni fële si mbalit gi ne li xale ndaw yi toog di ko foyee fële cause bépp TV bu nekk si tundi Gambie gi Gambia Talent TV mooy seeni baay man One Pack maa ko wax ku ko dinaay nga def leneen comme gars yi ñu ñooy defee yaa ngi understand ñun ñoo fi ñëw xoolal di régler lu fi manqué di mutal lu fi manqué di def lu fi kenn deful